everybody. My name is Tatum, and this is Guardian Voice of the Missing Weekly Podcast. You are feel free to comment, say who you are, questions, ask questions. If you have any cases out there that you would like me to cover, get flyers out and get them on the podcast. I do also do individual podcasts on cases as well. I'm still working on my unidentified. I'm really close to getting that podcast up and ready. So I hope you guys are all having a good week. I know a lot of people had really nice weather and now it's getting cold again. So hope that you guys are all doing great. Hi, Ellen. It's really great to see you. Thank you for joining. I do have quite a few cases to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Kayla is my cousin and she has been found safe. Which Kayla? Because I have a couple Kaylas. Hi, Sharon. I'm glad to see you here. Hi, Allison. Thanks for joining. Whoever Kayla is, please let me know which one it is because I know there's a couple Kaylas that I have been working on. This first case I have been covering every week on my podcast. This is Rebecca Demery. She's missing out of Odessa, Texas on March 1st of 2023. She's 32 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 33, 5'5", 190 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. She does wear glasses and has a mole on the left side of her neck. She always wears that gold cross necklace, which if anybody ever sees that necklace, it is a one of a kind. No one else should have it. She does have both of her ears pierced, but she doesn't normally wear earrings. She does have her tongue pierced. She does have a history of seizures and had recently had one while in the hospital. She does have a tattoo of a flower like the picture on her left arm and a heart design as in that picture as well on her right arm. She does go by Becca. Becca had last contact with her loved ones, which she always did on a daily basis. They had spoke to her on the phone on February 28th of 2023. When she called to see if she could get a ride from the hospital, her loved ones were out of town and were not able to pick her up, but she was seen leaving the hospital with someone. Becca's loved ones texted her the next day on March 1st, 2023, and there's been no response for her. She has not been seen or heard from again. Rebecca was last seen wearing in that picture that long sleeve gray shirt with a plaid hem, black pants, and a gray athletic shoes with white soles. She was also carrying that black and teal backpack. She was last seen at approximately 3:50 a.m. in southeast Odessa. One thing you should know is she was not familiar with the Odessa area. There was a lot of things going on saying that she had relatives in the Odessa area. That is not true. Foul play is suspected in her case. Law enforcement has done several searches and have been very active on her case. However, at this time, she has not able to be located. If you have any information regarding Rebecca's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Odessa, Texas Police Department at 432-335-4609. And I'm going to look at some of the comments. Haley says, hi, cousin. Not sure who she's talking to. Whitney says, we are looking for her. Hope she returns safe. Not for sure which case you guys are talking about. So if you guys do make comments on certain cases, I do cover a lot of them. So if you guys just want to say which person it involves, that would be helpful to the viewers as well. Dawn, you are most welcome, and we will be sharing your loved one tonight. And yes, very appreciative of all the family, the friends, and everybody that helps out the missing. We have some really great family members in here that help out with other families that are having missing loved ones. Someone did bring it to my attention, and it's something I'm looking at. I'm going to try to talk to some of the other advocates that I work with. And would love to get your guys' opinion too. Someone was wondering if I could start a page that is like a support page for families where families can come in and get support from other families and loved ones, how they handle when their loved one has been missing, because we do have families in here that have had family members missing just for a few weeks, some for a few months, and then some for over 15, 20 years. And so someone did approach me and asked me if that would be something I would be interested in doing, a page that could give you guys more resources, and also where you guys would have the ability to talk to each other, and maybe some of these families can help give more support to you. So if you guys would, let me know, you can send me a message, you can comment on here what you guys think about that by doing another page like that. The other page that I do not have set up yet is homicide and suspicious death cases, because unfortunately we do have a lot of cases that it does turn that way, and people reach out, and I think that it is a good another piece for a place to have these cases and stories shared. Kayla K and then Kayla Kepton. Okay. Hi, Saoirse. Thank you for joining. Whitney says, of course, we are all praying that she comes home safe. And Dawn. And so Kayla is still missing, correct? Because I thought someone just said that she was found, but I've been talking to Dawn all day, who is the mother of Kayla, that she has not been located. So I just want to make sure that I haven't missed something since the last time I talked to you, Dawn. Okay. Great. I'm glad that you guys all joined. I came across Kayla's thing. I believe someone notified me about her, and the family is here tonight, and they are really asking for anybody that will help out in that area. And we'll get more into her case here in just a little bit. Is it Kyla? I'm not for sure how to pronounce her name. Hi, Denise. How are you? Okay. And I apologize for pronouncing her name wrong. This next case is an older case. This is Angela Mae Jeff. She's missing out of Oakland, California on June 24th of 1979. She's 20 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 64, 5 foot to 5'6", 95 to 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have a vaccine scar on her arm. She has a broken jaw, which was caused by her boyfriend. She is pigeon-toed on her right foot, which rotated inwards, and when she walked, it was very noticeable. She always wore a necklace that was in a choker style. She has a tattoo of a teardrop beside one eye and a small homemade tattoo of a heart on the web part of her hand between the thumb and the finger. She is affiliated with the California Valley Miwok tribe. She was last known to be in the Oakland area and possibly in the Sacramento area. She was in a relationship with a boyfriend at the time, and shortly after she went missing, he did flee to Mexico. Foul play is suspected in her case. If you have any information regarding Angela's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Sacramento County, California Sheriff's Office at 916-874-5115. This next case is Anthony Jose Ogrande. He is missing out in New York City, New York on April 1st, 2022. He is 33 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 35, 5'9", 144 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have multiple tattoos on his arm. He may use the name Anthony Gonzalez or Jose Ogrande. He was last in contact with his loved ones on April of 2022 in Midtown Manhattan area. He had regular contact with his loved ones. He has links to Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Staten Island. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the New York City Police Department Missing Persons Squad at 212-694-7781. This next case I have shared before. This is Danielle Roselli Rico. She is missing out of Vala Vista, California on August 21st of 2022. She was 39 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 40. 5'2", 140 to 160 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have that left arm that is disabled, which you can see in that picture. She does have a tattoo of her kid's feet on her shoulder, large fairy on her back, sitting on a mushroom, and on both of her wrists. She had been living with her boyfriend, Chad, for the past 2 years prior to her disappearance. However, they had left their home and had started living with friends and neighbors in the area. He had reported that she had left with another man. Chad has been using her EBT card after her disappearance, and it was taken from him by law enforcement. He did sell her vehicle 3 weeks after she went missing. She was last seen leaving her mother's home with a male named Randy, who changed his story of where he had left her on multiple times. One of the places he stayed was on top of a mountain where his car had broke down, but he never said anything to anyone about leaving her there. She does not have a phone of her own, and she has not been active on social media. She may go by the name Lala. She could still be in Hemet, Valley Vista, or Homeland and Sage, California areas, as well as the Saboa Reservation in Hemet, California. She is missing under suspicious circumstances. If anyone has information regarding Danielle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Riverside County, California Sheriff Hemet Station at 951-791-3400. And I'm just going to look through here and make sure no one has commented. Don said, I keep trying to hold back my tears. You don't realize how serious stuff is until it happens to you and your family. I agree. And I hope, Don, that you, by connecting with Guardian and stuff, that you will see there are a lot of loved ones in here. There's a lot of great advocates out there that are here to try to help you get your loved ones home. So just keep your head up. And like I said, you can always reach out and contact, even if you guys just need to vent. That is what I'm here for, and other advocates. This is David Wayne Bjorkman, I believe is how you say his name. He went missing on January 30th, 2024. He's 50 years old, 5'8", 145 pounds, sandy hair, and blue eyes. He does wear black frame glasses, and his hair was shoulder length at the time of his disappearance. He did have a full beard with some gray highlights. He was last seen wearing a baseball hat with Uprise printed on the front, black windbreaker, blue jeans, and a gray backpack, leaving his friend's house on a silver Canyon mountain bike with various stickers on the flames, as you can see in the picture. It had black forks, handlebars, and a seat. He was planning to return home where he lived in Ventana, Oregon. It is reported that he intended to catch the bus, but there has been no proof that that had ever occurred. It is possible that he had decided to ride his bike, but he never arrived back home. He was reported on February 2nd of 2024. He has not been able to be reached by phone, which is out of character for him. But also a friend had reported that they had seen him at Fisherman's Market on 7th Avenue in Blair on January 30th, 2024 at 6 p.m. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Eugene, Oregon Police Department at 541-682-5111. And for a lot of people that are new, the reason I set up Guardian and everything is because I want to get out a lot of cases that don't get heard. And a lot of the cases that I've been coming across lately, there have been a lot of updates in the NamUs database, or I've had people reach out to me of cases I've never heard. And there's very, very little stuff out on the social media or out on the internet or by the news and stuff. So for me and Guardian, a lot of people that I work with and network with, we want to get out the cases that are not being heard, and we want to get out and help your loved ones be located and found. So anybody that is new to the podcast tonight, or don't know much about Guardian or people that I work with, I want you guys to know that we want to be the voice for you as the loved ones, but also be the voice for your loved one who is missing. And they said, Dawn, this is mom. It's okay to completely lose yourself over your baby girl. Let it go and cry. I agree. This is one thing that I will have to tell you guys as the loved ones. These cases, like I said, we have cases out here that have gone years. And we have had some very, very strong families out there. My biggest thing is you guys have got to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're getting, rest and eating and stuff like that. And just know that you're not alone. That's my biggest thing is I want you guys to know that you're not alone in this, and strangers become friends. I've met some really great families. I've met some really great advocates out there, and I want you guys to know that you're not alone. So definitely you're going to have your moments, where things are going to feel hopeless, but just know that, you can reach out. We are here for you. We want you guys to know that you're not alone. And that's one of the biggest things I hear from the loved ones is I feel alone. I feel lost. I don't know what to do. Is there something that, I could have done more? And that's one thing that, we're here for, is to give you the resources, things that you don't think about. And one thing, when someone goes missing, I don't think anybody can prepare for it. Also know that if you think of something after you make that initial report, contact the police agency again. There's several things that I suggest that you do when you make that missing persons report. You need to get a case number, the agency number, the non-emergency number for people to call. Also, I highly suggest that you get an email. The reason I suggested it, I've talked to several detectives and stuff, and they say that's kind of easier for them to communicate with in case they are out and not in the office. But the other thing to do is have that non-emergency number, because if they are not in the office or they're off, they don't want a tip to set like in their email. Send that email to them so they, have it to follow up with, that you had made a report about the missing person, but call that non-emergency line so they can send out officers and check that area. So, but I always say one of the better ways, in what I've found out from detectives that I've worked with, that email is a really, really good way to communicate back and forth with them. And I think that's something that we don't always think about when we file those reports. So definitely, be able to get that number to contact that detective, but get that non-emergency number out there and get an email so you can send information back and forth, because I send a lot of information back and forth to detectives through email. It's just a great way to be able to communicate back and forth with them. So that might be something for everybody to think of. If you don't have it, then an email, then I would contact law enforcement again and see if they can give you an email where you can send that information. And hi, Denise. It's great to get a good advocate. Not only do people help, but give support. I agree. And again, I've covered this a million times in my podcast. Please be careful for people that approach you. Not all advocates are in it for the same reason. Really great advocates are in for it. So just be careful what information you do give out. And, always look into people that are, asking to do things or inquiring things about your case and stuff. I always tell people you can go out and look out on Guardian. You can see my podcast. You can see the flyers that I put out and everything. So definitely, there's some great advocates out there that really want to help you guys and be a support for you. So, and it definitely helps the process. I've heard from families knowing that they had an advocate that was there for them through anything and everything that they needed. So thank you, Denise, for sharing that. This next case is Eric Foote. He went missing out of Washburn, Maine on January 30th, 2024. He is 39 years old, 5'10", 155 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. He is also a veteran. He has a sun tattoo on his chest and a tribal shoulder tattoo down his right arm, and he did have brown chin hair at the time of his disappearance. He was wearing a short sleeve black t-shirt and jeans and was in a mental crisis stage at the time of his disappearance. It was freezing cold then, and he had no coat, money, wallet, phone, transportation, or resources. It is reported that several people had tried to get him help and that law enforcement had said they had took him to the hospital. However, it was confirmed that he was never taken to the hospital and no ambulance was ever called to help him. He is a daily smoker, and he was last seen on Washburn Road in Washburn, Maine, and was dropped off. It was reported that he was dropped off by the Washburn Police Department. He does know people in Caribou, Maine. There is a possibility that he might have been heading there. However, there are a lot of open fields in that area, and loved ones are concerned for his safety and welfare. One thing that the family and the loved ones are really asking for anybody that lives in that area to please help check in open fields in the surrounding areas to help locate Eric. If you have any information regarding Eric's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call 911 or the Alstock County, Maine Sheriff's Office at 207-532-3471. And I know that his family has definitely been really pleading to anybody that's there, because those fields are really big, and they are just really concerned that he could be out there, especially since the weather was so cold the day that he went missing. You guys will also notice that Tabitha and Missing Persons Alert are doing a lot of hashtagging in the comment. Hashtags is another great way for people to see cases and be able to connect to different cases and stuff. So you will see that they're hashtagging, which is they're going to do that. So if you guys want to take those hashtags and use them to help people see your guys' cases a little bit better. This next case is Felix Yo Akpaka. He is missing out of Dry Ridge, Kentucky on March 1st, 2021. He was 56 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 59. 6 foot tall, 170 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. His relative had called and reported that she usually speaks to her father-in-law about twice a year over the phone. However, she had not heard from him in a couple years. It is reported that he was living on Judith Street in Dry Ridge, Kentucky. There's very little information on his case. If you have any information regarding Felix's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Kentucky State Police at 859-428-1212. This next case, for anybody, again, that is new to the podcast, when you see the red handprint, that is a sign of Indigenous people. So you will see those out on my flyer as well to identify them. This is Janice Marie Hagan. She is missing out of Wapato, Washington on December 24th of 1971. She was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 68. 5 foot tall, 105 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She may have her ears pierced, and she does have a mole on her chin. She is part of the Yakama Nation. She had been at the hospital for treatment for numerous bruises on her head and her chest on December 21st, 1971. However, it was not known what the cause of the injuries were or what hospital she was treated at. It is reported that she was discharged in a satisfactory condition on December 24th, 1971. She has not been seen or heard from since. It was reported at first that she was a runaway from home at the time due to her parents' breakup and her being upset because of it. This theory has changed by law enforcement, is being treated as a suspicious disappearance. She was living at the time with her father in Wapito, Washington, on the Yakima Reservation. Some agencies have that she went missing on March 1st of 1971. If you have any information regarding Janice's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Yakima County, Washington Sheriff's Department at 509-574-2500. And I did see some news articles on her when she went missing, and her sister has really been trying to, find out what happened to her sister. And I know a lot of people were saying that maybe the dad was the cause of the bruising and the injury. However, in some of the news reports that she said, she did not believe that her dad had anything to do with that. So if anybody comes across that or has suspicions about the dad, the family has voiced that they did not believe that he was any part of her disappearance or the bruising that she did have at that time. All right, you guys are really commenting tonight. All right. This next case I will continue to cover every week in the hopes of finding Dana Jane Bruce. She is missing out of Sedalia, Missouri on October 4th, 2008. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 37. 5'2", 95 pounds, brown hair, and she has a green hazel eye. She is blind in her left eye. She does have both of her ears pierced. She does have a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. She does have that tattoo on her upper left arm of the teddy bear with wings with a banner that says Dylan. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel on the front in silver lettering and blue jeans, leaving her children's babysitter home right around 11:30 to midnight. She had left them there earlier in the day so she could go out and join in the celebration of the anniversary of Malone's Bar on Main Street. When she went back to give the babysitter more money, she was with a man driving a white truck, F-150 truck, at the night of her disappearance. And police had identified that man that she was with, and he had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. It is believed that he was a contractor that was working in the Sedalia area at the time. They did question him. He had been arrested on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. He has never been named publicly, but the police were calling him a person of interest. He said that Dana and him parted ways after they had left the bar and he was never seen again. She had left behind her belongings, doesn't have a bank account, credit cards, phone, or vehicle. It is unknown if she had her ID at the time. She was a very devoted mother and would never leave or abandon her children. Some updates on some stuff that has been out on social media about Dana and the night of her disappearance is, yes, she was with that gentleman that was driving the Ford truck, and that he had left her at the bar and did not see her until after they had parted ways. However, it is also reported that she left with 2 men that were local to the Sedalia area driving a red Ford F-150 truck, and it's believed that those 2 individuals still live in the Sedalia area. I will tell you, in Dana's case, with the information that is out there, this is people that are very close to her, that knew her personally, that do know information about what happened to Dana that night. There are people talking about what happened that night after she had left the bar with these 2 individuals from Sedalia, males. They had went to a house in Templeton, Missouri, believed to be, and there was an after party there, and there are reports and witnesses that said that there was an incident that happened and that she passed and that she was removed from that home. A lot of people out there are talking about what has happened, and the biggest thing is that her loved ones do want to have her home. Her children want their mother to be located and brought back home. And like I said, there's information out there. There are people that were there that night, at least 7 people that know what happened to Dana that night are still trying to be closed-lipped. However, there are people in their group that is talking about what happened that night and giving out information of what happened. And law enforcement has been told about what is going on. However, it's been 15 years and stuff is not seeming to move on the case as much, but there is law enforcement that is involved and they are working very hard on this case. The biggest thing that I can say on this case is no matter what your connection is to law enforcement or what you're doing with law enforcement, you are not above the law. And what goes around comes around. And not everybody in that group is tight-lipped anymore about what happened to Dana. I would love to see Dana come home. That is the biggest thing at this point that loved ones want. They just want to have her located and brought back home. Whatever else happens after that is what happens. But from family, they have said that they just want to get her located, especially for her children. This is a case that I will not stop talking about. I will continue to talk about it. There's a lot more information out there that I have not released that I'm getting ready to release. I do know the individuals and all of the vehicles. They know who they are. They know what role they played. And it is time for people to come forward on this case. And like I said, Dana's case are people that are very close to her at home and that know her. And I just don't understand how anybody can look at someone's children knowing that they were the demise of their missing mother. So it is time for people to come home. And hopefully the more that people are talking and the more law enforcement that is getting involved in Dana's case, she will be brought home sooner, here soon. And that is what my hope is for Dana and all of the missing that is out there. This next case is Gregory Shandon Hicks. He's missing out of Kifnek, Oklahoma on March 24th, 2023. He was 43 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 44. 6'3", 210 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He was just entered into the database, I believe, today. There is little information on his case. I do not know. Oklahoma is usually very good about getting people into databases, so I'm not really sure why, since he's been missing for almost a year, why his information was not out in the database, especially NamUs. If you have any information regarding Gregory's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Bryan County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office at 580-924-3000. That is something else. Getting your loved one out in the NamUs database is a really good thing. A lot of advocates look at it. Families can look at it. They have unidentified and unclaimed individuals in there as well. It's just a great place to get information out. I know that Oklahoma is one of the states that they make it mandatory that law enforcement has to put it in that database. The other thing is making sure that your loved one is in the NCIC. You need to make sure when you're making a missing persons report that is an official missing persons report, not an attempt to locate. The missing persons report gets in the NCIC database, which goes national, that all law enforcement, if they would come in contact with your loved one, say they went missing from Oklahoma and they come in contact with them in Kansas, then they would be able to see that there's that missing persons report out there. So definitely for the families and stuff, make sure that you're telling law enforcement, you know, hey, I want them in the NCIC. I want them in the NamUs database, because this is where a lot of advocates go. I'm one of the advocates. I for sure go out into NamUs. I'm in there all the time, every day, looking at cases, getting updates on cases. We're able to submit information to individuals in the NamUs. If you guys go to the resource page on Guardian, it does have all of the numbers for all the regions of NamUs out there for you to contact. If it would come an unidentified person and you think it could be your loved one, you can contact them so they can get the ball rolling on top of contacting law enforcement to get that checked out for any DNA. I always suggest for families to get their DNA out there, just in case a law enforcement agency would come across your loved one. And like I said, that's not what we want. But especially some of these cases are older, it's just definitely a good idea to have all that information. And the NamUs individuals that are working there should be able to help you with that as well. This next case is Johanna Lamoni Sims. She is missing out of Jacksonville, Florida on March 8th of 1995. She's 26 years old at the time of disappearance. She is now 55, 5'6", 110 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen in Jacksonville, Florida on February 28th. However, there is little information on her case. If you have any information regarding Johanna's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Office at 904-630-0500. I believe this is another case. It's an older case that has just gotten entered into the NamUs database. Oops. All right. I'm going to share some of the comments here real quick. Denise said the families can request to have DNA entered into CODIS. That is true too. So thank you, Denise, for sharing that. Like I said, Denise is a really good advocate that's out there. I don't know if Sharon is in here tonight. Sharon is a good advocate. Tabitha is a good advocate. She does a lot of cases out in the Washington, Oregon area as well. And there's Allison. She's got missing persons alerts. She has a page for every state and Puerto Rico, and then 2 main pages as well. There's Sky Alerts. Sky Alerts is another great organization. If you haven't seen their flyers, I would reach out to them. They also are another good place to post flyers, get flyers done, and get information out as well. If any of my advocates that I network with that are out there, if you guys want to put in the comment for the families to see all the different places that are good places for them to be able to connect with other advocates out there. Hi, Sharon. And get those out there. Sharon, would you be able to post some of the Sky Alerts? There's Oracle, Mom, all of them. If you could get those out there in the comments again for our families that are new here tonight. And we'll get those posted so you guys can see them in the comments. You can go out and check out their pages and stuff. Again, those are really good advocates out there. Saoirse, if you want to put out all the ones that you have as well, that would be great. So thank you all the advocates that are here tonight. If you families have any questions, post that and we'll try to be able to answer those for you. You can always send me a message as well. This next case is a case out of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Carrie Elizabeth Gerard. She is missing on July 22nd of 1998. She was 36 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 62. 5'7", 120 pounds, blonde strawberry hair and blue eyes. She does have her ears pierced and a scar on her right hand. She does have a tattoo of a rose on her chest. She may use the last name Harris. At the time of her disappearance, she was struggling with substance abuse. She was living with her boyfriend at the time in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and had bonded out of county jail in Gering, Nebraska on May 5th, 1997. She was supposed to attend a court hearing with her attorney on July 11, 1997, but never came. It is reported that she had been in an abusive relationship at the time of her disappearance, and she was not reported missing until June 30th of 1998, which was more than a year since she was last seen or heard from. It was reported that when her boyfriend was questioned, he had told police that she had taken all of her belongings and left. It is reported that he has not been cooperative with the investigation. Family and law enforcement do believe that foul play is involved in her disappearance. She had always had contact with her loved ones. Her boyfriend died in the year 2000. If you have any information regarding Carrie's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call Scott Bluff, Nebraska Police Department at 308-630-6261. This next case, I have a lot of older cases tonight, you guys. This is Lonnie Ray Rogers. She is missing out of Hayfield Township, Pennsylvania on January 7th, 1981. At the time of her disappearance, she was 29 years old. She would now be 72. 5'5", 140 pounds, brown hair, and gray eyes. She does have freckles and her ears pierced. She is almost totally deaf and cannot speak fluently as a result, and wears a hearing aid. She left her hearing aid, glasses, and medications behind. She does have her tonsils removed, and she goes by the nickname Lonnie. Lonnie was last seen at her home on Route 98 in Little Corners area, 10 miles northwest of Medville in Hayfield Township, Pennsylvania, on January 7th, 1981. There was a severe snowstorm that day. It is reported that her husband and her had an argument that evening and that they had separated before in 1980. Mr. Rogers reported to the police that he woke up during the night and didn't see his wife and assumed that she was sleeping on the couch. In the morning, her high brown boots, blue jeans, and navy blue coat were gone. However, her purse, hearing aid, keys, and her children were all still at home. He didn't report her missing to the police right away. According to law enforcement, he fully cooperated with the first investigation, however, has never been ruled out. After her disappearance, her husband, who is deaf as well, placed their younger daughter up for adoption. Foul play is suspected in her case. If you have any information regarding Lonnie's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Pennsylvania State Police at 841-332-6911. And with researching her case and story, the daughter, I believe, that was put up for adoption is still very much looking for her mom and has been a very active voice in her case. Sorry, I was just checking to make sure there's no questions, you guys. This next case, someone asked me to cover. This is Tammy Picton. She is missing out of Sutherland, Oregon on October 14th of 2022. She was 53 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 55. 5'4" to 5'6", 150 to 200 pounds. She had blonde hair and hazel eyes. She does have a scar between her eyebrows and her ears are pierced. She was last known to be in Sutherland, Oregon on October 17th of 2022 on video with her two dogs, Trooper, a small white dog, which has been located in February 2023 near the area where her car was found. However, Cope, a black, white, and brown Jack Russell Terrier that you see in that picture, is still missing. On October 29th, 2022, her abandoned gray 2022 Toyota Camry or Corolla, NamUs has Corolla, but there are flyers out that say Camry, so I put it both, just in case it might have been entered incorrectly. With California license plate 9CAK892 was located off a dead-end Forest Service road on Highway 20, approximately 30 miles east of Sweet Home, Oregon. Law enforcement found it, and it had been belonging to Tammy, and noticed that there was a missing persons report out on her since October 14th of 2022 in the Tomahawk County Sheriff's Office in Northern California. It is reported that she has no connection to Lynn County, Oregon area. There have been searches of the area, and she has not been located, nor her dog that is pictured. If you have any information regarding Tammy's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Tahoma County, California Sheriff's Coroner Office at 530-527-1130 or Lynn County, Oregon Sheriff's Office at 541-967-3950. This next case I have covered several times before. This is Remus Yazzie. He's missing out of Farmington, New Mexico on January 5th of 2022. He was 29 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 31. 6 foot, 220 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo on the left side of his neck that says skate and destroy, as you see pictured. And snooping on top of his house, which you see pictured there at the top on his right forearm. He is enrolled in Navajo Nation. Remus had been released from the hospital due to him and another person being in an accident. He had texted his mother possibly the same day or before the accident from that person's phone, possibly a girlfriend, but loved ones do not know that for sure or what her name because they had never met her. The text said that he was going to a funeral in Gallup, New Mexico on January 5th of 2022. The last time that family had physically seen him was New Year's Eve in the early New Year's Eve morning in 2022. There has been no further contact from Remus since the text on January 5th, 2022. It is out of the character for Remus to not have contact with his loved ones. He does have a phone. He does not have a phone or ID and has not been active on social media. He is known to frequent Brookside Park in Flemington, and he enjoys skateboarding. An update that I have covered before on his case is there was a search in an area that they actually located his hand. And one of the biggest things that the family and law enforcement wanted to make sure that I shared that, yes, they did find positive ID that it was his hand. They have never found any other remains or anything of them. They do still presume that he is alive. I know a lot of times when people say you find different body parts and stuff, that was a lot of conversation when they did find Remus's hand, that a lot of people assume that he is deceased. Law enforcement and the family both want you to know that that is not what they presume at this time. So whatever information that law enforcement does have with finding that, they still very much presume that he is still alive. So that is the biggest update with him so far. So if you guys have any information regarding Remus's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Farmington, New Mexico Police Department at 505-599-1070. And hopefully he will be located. Okay. The next case, and I believe we must have a lot of family and loved ones that are in the group tonight, and I hope that I will say her name right. Is it Kyla Yvonne Kimplin? She's missing out of Piper City, Illinois on February 13th of 2024. She is 17 years old, 5'7", 140 pounds. She doesn't actually have blonde hair, but it is dyed black. She does have blue eyes. She has both sides of her nose pierced. She has that tattoo on her wrist of a smiley face, as you can see in the picture. But she also has a tattoo that says Angel 999. She was last known to be wearing gray sweatpants, maroon hoodie, and black Crocs. It is reported that she had left with her boyfriend in his goldish/tan colored 4-door car with a black back bumper. She had called her loved one and said that her boyfriend was not treating her good. However, when he had returned to the car, the phone hung up. It appeared that she did not want him to know that she had called. Now, her boyfriend had been arrested and released in Gilman, Illinois. However, he was not cooperating per the reports. She has no phone, no ID, and has not been active on social media. Family and loved ones are very concerned for her safety and her welfare. If you have any information regarding Kyla's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call 911 or Ford County, Illinois Sheriff's Office at 217-379-2324. And one of when I was speaking to her loved one, her mom, the boyfriend has been released, and it is believed that he is back in contact and with her, but they have a different car that they're in. And I don't know if any of that information, Dawn, if you're able to share that, or we can touch base after the podcast as well. If there's any way to get what kind of car they're in now, that would be great because we could get that out on social media as well. And then also, Dawn, I do need to talk to you about some other stuff regarding her case as well that I will discuss with you in private. So this case, you guys out there, all the great guardian follows and advocates and stuff, if you guys could please get her case out there. There is very much concerned about her safety and her well-being. And we want to get it out there just with like a lot of these cases that are not getting a lot of social media and stuff. If you guys can please help this family get her shared out there, it would greatly be appreciated. This next case is Nicholas Robert Patterson. He is missing out of Hat Creek, California on January 4th, 2020. He's 26 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 30. 5'10", 228 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He has a tattoo on his left arm that has 3 fish. He is involved in the Pit River tribe. He was last seen wearing a maroon t-shirt, black Carhartt jacket, gray Carhartt beanie, and blue jeans. It was not normal for him to not have communication on a regular basis. He is known to frequently visit Lookout, Laysan County, and Hat Creek area. If you have any information regarding Nicholas's disappearance or his whereabouts, please call Modoc County, California Sheriff's Office at 530-233-4416. And her mom is saying, I wish I knew exactly what it was because I saw it at night the couple times I did, but it looked like a Ford Taurus. I'm not sure what the front exactly looked like. Wish I knew more information, but yes, that's sweet. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. And like I said, we will continue to, share her flyers and everything. Kimberly says, thank you so much to everyone on here. Kyla, we love you, and we want you to come home where you will be safe. And if I'm missing any questions, you guys might have to send them again. I'm trying to watch the comments as much as I can. The boyfriend is Colin Cavoyo. I don't know how you say his last name. That is the boyfriend. So if anybody does know Colin or sees Colin, I would call law enforcement immediately because wherever he is probably going to be the link to finding her. So definitely. Shelly, you are most welcome. I will continue to keep her shared out on the podcast. Like I said, we have got her out shared to a lot of the platforms and stuff. And there's a lot of other advocates that are out there as well. So whatever is going on with both of them, they both just need to be located and brought back home and safe. And I believe the other part of her case, and Dawn or anybody else, loved ones or family, is someone is putting out the dad's name as well, because I believe the dad has been helping, or it appears to be helping his son for whatever reason and what's going on. There's so many unknowns. And like you guys all know, I do not give out a lot of names, a lot just to protect cases and stuff. And again, I'm not law enforcement and all that. And then I missed the group and now. Okay. So for everybody that knows me, I run Guardian Voice of the Missing. I have a page and then I have a group page. The group page, you guys, well, either one, you guys are more than welcome to share your loved ones' flyers out there, information out there, and all that. I also have a Guardian Voice of the Unidentified page that I have up that I always encourage everybody to go out there. Again, not the outcome that we ever want, but I always just encourage people to go out there. Now, that page is only for unidentified and unclaimed. The other groups that are out there, Missing Persons Alert nationwide, they have, and I'm an admin for that. I work with Allison, she's the founder. Saoirse helps us out in that as well. There is a page for every state. There are two main pages. There's Puerto Rico. Oh my gosh, I can't think. She has about 50 or 60 pages that we moderate, admin, and all that. Then you have Sky Alerts. I don't know if Sharon has already put up all the other groups that we network with. I'll have to scroll through here and see if she has done that yet. There's Sky Alerts. There's Oracle Mom. She is a TikToker, but has recently came also over to Facebook. That's something else. Missing Persons Alert has TikTok. Guardian Voice of the Missing has a TikTok. Allison will have to correct me. There's several TikToks for Missing Persons Alert. So we're out on a lot of social media. Instagram, TikTok. I have YouTube, Facebook, and like I said, I'm getting ready to do a couple more pages. The Unidentified is my last page that I started, but like I said, I have a couple more pages. I know Missing Persons Alerts has a teen page. I know Saoirse has teen pages that we try to get information out as well. We do try to cover everything we possibly can. Missing Truth is a really good page to share too. They do a lot back and forth. The Missing Truth, and Sharon, correct me, I think that's right. She is another really, really great advocate as well. Saoirse's is Finding Our Teens Missing Youth in the Pacific for the missing Pacific Northwest. There is a lot of them. Let me see real quick if I can scroll through here and see the other ones just to help you guys. Because I want to give you guys every resource I can possibly imagine. Also, there are other podcasters that are out there that we are all networked in as well. Oh my gosh, Sharon, I do not know where you put this. Oh, Sky Alerts Foundation. Love them. Toby Anderson Foundation, wonderful, wonderful person that runs that. Homicide, Missing Persons, and Cold Case Network, The Missing Struggle. Oh, and then she hashtagged me, Guardian Voice of the Missing. So those are other, those are places that I would trust. The advocates that are running those pages and the people that are involved in those pages, I trust them. So they also do flyers. Some of them do some podcasting. I do another thing I do is I've done videos for families to get out information. There's a lot. So if you guys have problems getting missing persons reports, you can reach out to us, and if one of us doesn't have the answer, there's probably somebody in our group that we network with that can help out as well. So again, the Aware Foundation is good. Like I said, Missing Truth is good. Kansas Missing, Kansas Missing and Unsolved. He's a really great advocate. Ricky, I've worked with him. He's another really great advocate out there, does really great flyers. There's a lot of good Indigenous pages that are out there as well. So yeah, if you guys have questions or if you need anything, feel free to reach out and we will help you as much as we possibly can. So like I said, those are some good groups. All those groups are in the comments. The advocates have put them out there. Also, Sharon was telling me Homicide Missing and Cold Case Network. That's another one. That's Sandy's group. She's another really, really great advocate. Someone put on here, and this is something that I try to cover all the time, is be aware of people asking for money for info. They're scammers. Um, I've dealt with scammers with different families, and it's horrible the things that people do. Like I really strongly encourage the families, please protect yourselves. Please do not put your personal information out there. Um, don't put date of birth out on flyers. That's not good. If you are contacted by someone that you feel is a scammer, you need to report it to your local law enforcement. Also, in the resource page on Guardian Voice of the Missing, there is the FBI IC3 report for anybody that is scamming you. If you do feel that way, if you ever need to have, I've had to fill one out. Um, you can reach out and we'll help you through that process as well. But please be careful. Keep any type of information if people are communicating, screenshot that stuff so you have it for stuff to turn over to law enforcement and stuff. And I'll cover it again. I've covered it several times in the podcast about the scamming, but it's horrible, and to see what the families have to go through. So just know if anybody reaches out to you and says, they have your loved one, and they can't give proof of life. That's my biggest thing. I would say if anybody tries to reach out to you and tell you they have a loved one, you need to contact law enforcement right away, and let them see what's going on and stuff. But if people are asking you for money, it's most likely probably a scam. So definitely, please be careful. If anyone asks for any type of service, let us know. And law enforcement, also the FBI tip line. Thank you, Allison, for sharing that. All right. Okay. This next case is an older case from Portland, Oregon. This is Tanya Renee Jackson. She went missing on April 22nd, 1992. She was 31 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's now 63. 5'4", 120 to 130 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. Tanya was 4 to 5 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance. She was wearing an army jacket, black stonewashed jeans. She was seen getting into a pickup truck in the vicinity of the northeast section of Portland, Oregon. She has never been seen or heard from again. There is very little information out on her case. If you have any information regarding Tanya's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Portland, Oregon Police Bureau at 503-823-0400. All right, I have 4 more cases left. These next 2 cases are connected somewhat. And I will explain it as I cover it. I will continue. This is another case out of Oklahoma. I will continue to work hard for this family to get Kendra Nicole Batino home. She went missing on July 5th of 2022. She was 24 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 26. 5'8", 115 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have her hair, like I said, is black, and it was short buzz, like you see in that top picture, because she does wear different type colored wigs, as you can see in the pictures. She does have brown eyes. She does have both of her ears pierced, and she does have dimples. She is enrolled in the Muskogee Creek Nation. She does have some mental health and substance abuse issues. She was staying in a residence in the 1400 block of West Randolph in Eden. She was last had contact by phone to her loved ones around midnight on July 7th of 22. There was a report that she was seen on July 20th of 22 knocking on a door of a house in Pawnee, Oklahoma, and asking for a glass of water. When that individual found out that she was missing, they did report it to Enid police. However, it has never been confirmed that that was her. It was reported that it was unusual for Kendra not to have contact with her loved ones or be active on social media. Her cell phone goes straight to voicemail. Her social media accounts have had no activity, and her loved ones have not heard from her. And I have met her family. Her family is very wonderful. They are very concerned about her safety and her well being. And Kendra was very much in contact with her loved ones daily. So, a few days prior to her disappearance, there was a bond hearing for her boyfriend, Colby, her boyfriend at the time, Colby, for a domestic abuse case, which Kendra was the victim. In that case, he had strangled her, and she was supposed to go to that hearing, that bond hearing. The case was dismissed after she went missing. Don't understand that. I don't think that's right, but for whatever reason, they dismissed that case. There have been multiple searches and tips that have been covered. However, Kendra has not been located. Loved ones are concerned for their safety and the well being. Foul play is suspected. If you have any information regarding Kendra's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Enid Police Department at 580 242 7000. The next case that I'm going to share, this is Colby Shepard. Colby Shepard was Kendra's boyfriend at the time of her disappearance. He is now missing out of Enid, Oklahoma on December 28th of 2023, 27 years old, 6 foot to 6'2", 160 to 170 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. He does have a full beard with reddish color. He does have a tattoo on his left side of his chest. Colby was last seen wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans, and a gray hat. His last contact with his mother was by phone on December 28th of 2023. His last known vehicle is a tan gold Honda Civic, 4-door with Oklahoma tag OJE660. Now, a lot of people will ask me, why am I sharing Colby's when I'm, working hard to find Kendra? Just kind of like what her family said, Colby could be the key of where Kendra is, but also the fact he is missing too. Me as an advocate, and where I lie as an advocate, is I do not pick and choose what stories I'm going to share. If someone is missing despite their background, their economic status, their criminal record, if they have substance abuse, mental illness, whatever, I don't judge people on that. If a person is missing, I'm here to help. That is all that I'm here for, is to help find the missing. Colby is missing too. Knowing his history and stuff, could he have left on his own accord? He could have. Could he have not left on his own accord? That's possible too. But for me as an advocate, and seeing, the family has put out on social media, because there was a lot of attacking going on when advocates were sharing Colby's disappearance, and even Kendra's family and their feelings and everything. They know that Colby needs to be located as well in order to help out with Kendra's case too. So if you have any information regarding Colby's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Enid, Oklahoma Police Department at 580-242-7000. Again, like I said, guys, I'm going to share missing persons cases. I'm not here to judge anybody. I don't judge anybody. I believe that all people need to be found regardless. I do have flyers out on people that are missing, that have some extensive criminal background, that really in the long run, they're missing, but you definitely don't want these individuals out there either. So yes, please share both Kendra and Colby's. It could link them, to helping locate one or the other. This next case came to me missing out of Roseburg, Oregon. This is Ticarius Sentez Ray. He went missing on December 28th of 2023. He is 28 years old, 6'4", 172 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He possibly had a short goatee and possibly a mustache. He had a scar on his right cheek, and you can see that in that picture. He has a tattoo on his right forearm with a star and Loyalty and Ashley on his upper arm. He may use the nickname Ty. Ty had left home where he was staying in his aluminum or silver 1999 Dodge Durango with Oregon license plate 721 LUP. It was reported that his vehicle was in very poor running condition. It was found a short time later abandoned on Old Highway 99. He was last known to be wearing that black Calvin Klein jacket that you see pictured, black Adidas shoes, black jeans, carrying his backpack with his wallet. All of those are pictured. And he was wearing those black Adidas shoes. It is not known if his backpack has ever been found. His cell phone was left behind in the seat of his vehicle. He also left behind other belongings at home where he was staying. He has had no activity on social media or contact with loved ones. Ty is originally from Alabama. There is a $2,000 reward for information and finding him. If you have any information regarding Tycarius' disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Roseburg, Oregon Police Department at 541-492-6760. And I know that his family and loved ones definitely, I believe there is a page, I think it's Finding Tyray. I always encourage people, if they have a page set up for their missing loved one, you're more than welcome to share it on Guardian. I always encourage people to go out and, join those pages and support those loved ones on helping them find their missing loved one. The last case that I'm going to share, I have shared Hector Abreu before. He is missing out of Cabaza, California on March 29th, 2023. He is 34 years old, 5'6", 175 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He does have a 4-inch vertical surgical scar on his abdomen. He does have a tattoo Veronica on his chest, Addie on his right side of his neck, and a dragon on his upper bicep. He may use the name Bumper. He was last known to be in the Cabarzo area in Riverside County, California. He is missing under suspicious circumstances. If you have any information regarding Hector's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Riverside County, California Sheriff's Department, Cabarzo Station at 951-922-7100. I have done a lot of flyers and working with a lot of families that are out in that Riverside County, California area. Danielle, that I shared tonight, there are several cases that I have out there with the families and stuff that a lot of people are linked. They may have not known that they were linked to the same person. So there's a lot of cases that are out in that area that are very, very, very suspicious. And a lot of people that are located connected. And a lot of those cases are very suspicious and dangerous. So that's the other thing that, I want people to know, being careful, releasing certain information and stuff. As an advocate and working, there's a lot of stuff on a lot of cases that I know way more than what I share. And that is to protect the loved ones that are involved. It is to protect those cases and keep them safe and stuff. So just really always, as a family or a loved one, please be careful what you put out there, because there are people that will try to take advantage of that. And it's just, you guys are going through enough. If there are not any other questions, Braden said Jeremy posted screenshots that Don knew that Kayla Kempton and his son were going to run away that day it happened. Okay. I'm not for sure what that is in regards to. I know it's with her case. Somebody posted Barbara Annette McClure missing since 1978, Lake First. Okay. Jamie, are you wanting me to get that covered? I most certainly will look into Barbara McClure's story. Like I said, you guys, if there's any cases out there that you would like to see me cover, There's several cases that, I cover over and over. If you have those, you guys feel free. You can message me. You can put in the comments and I will try to look at it. I will tell you guys, I can't always see comments until after the podcast is over, just depending on where you guys are seeing. If you're watching from the page, I can see it, who you are and who commented. Hi, Carol. How are you? If you're in the group, I run through StreamYard, and so you have to give StreamYard permission. I do have it pinned up there on how you can do that as well. And like I said, a lot of us advocates are working together on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good networking and connections that we can see what help with that we can give you as well. Someone said they didn't realize that I had an unidentified page. I do. It's Guardian Voice of the Unidentified Persons, I believe it's what it is. But I also, I am working on a podcast with that, and I know I've been saying it for several weeks, but I almost have it ready. I got to do the intro and outro on it. I do have another group of FBI missing persons cases. I have that podcast ready. I don't know how you guys feel about not always doing one at night. I might try to do that one like during the day. I think I did it on a Saturday or Friday, the first one. So I'll be having those cases rolling out too. One thing to let you guys know is there is the FBI website that has cases. However, each state has FBI cases as well that aren't always on the main one. So I could probably be doing FBI cases for a long time too. I just thought it was good to get those out because I think people forget about them. And I would hate to see that. There is a case that I believe is on the FBI that I just recently saw out of Oklahoma that looks like there's an update, and it was a missing girl and guy. I can't think what their name is off the top of my head. I will go and look and make sure to get that shared over to you guys as well. And then I will always have the weekly podcast at 8 o'clock Central Time on Tuesdays. It's just trying to figure out when I want to do the unidentified. I thought it was important to do an unidentified, but I will tell you guys I'm only going to stream that on my unidentified page just because the more I do it, a lot of those pictures, if you do join that, I do have that disclaimer out there. There are many hard pictures to look at. And so that's why I want to keep that on that page for everybody. So I will have that as a disclaimer on the podcast that there may be pictures and stuff that are very sensitive to look at as well. But I thought it was important to get more of the unidentifieds out there in case someone would be able to identify them. There have been a lot of unidentified people getting identified, but also important for families to go out and to look at NamUs at the unclaimed persons. People that are out there unclaimed, they do have them identified. They're looking for their next of kin. And there was a case out of Tennessee where a young man was missing that a guy, he kind of was like, he was homeless as well as this young individual, but he was kind of like a dad figure. And he had reached out, I believe to the family and everything and said, hey, I've been trying to help him, try to get him reconnected or whatever. And someone had went out that had been watching his story because it had been out there several times because they were trying to locate his family. And someone had went out and looked in the NamUs database and found the kid. He was located, unfortunately deceased, out in California. His family had no idea that he'd ever left the Tennessee area. So I just highly encourage you guys. I know it is very hard to go out there and look at those things. I know I, as an advocate, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else. I know I, as an advocate, I do look a lot for like trying to get comparisons if there's unidentified remains or a person out there that is unclaimed individual. and, you know, sending tips in, talking to law enforcement, sending tips into NamUs to have them check out that there's a possibility, if that is someone of a case that I've came across, that could be that person. But anybody can go out and NamUs. It is public. If you sign up for NamUs and have an account, which I have, I know several other people have accounts, it will show you like if there's been any comparisons on those individuals that are missing as well. There is two sides of NamUs. One side you can see, the other side you cannot. That's law enforcement side. But I just really encourage, you can do different type of searches, and it's just a really good database. So I encourage you guys. I try to get as much stuff posted over to the unidentified page. I do flyers for the unidentified as well, but it's another place to look. But I also want to really stress to the families, I would go out there and look and see what law enforcement has out there, because today, as I'm doing flyers, I noticed that, you know, eye colors may be off, the location may be off for whatever reason. They may have not put the height in right. So it's always good for you guys, if you guys want to go out there and check it out. If you don't want to check it out, you can contact me and I'll look and tell you what's on there. If I've done a flyer for you, it's probably what's out there in the NamUs database. Have you communicated at all with David Robertson? I have not communicated out to him yet, but I do very much know about his son Daniel's case. I will connect out. I'll talk to you about that, Sharon. I'll connect out to him. His case, Daniel's case, is just it's very suspicious, his disappearance. Also, if there's any cases out there that have been on documentaries, I try to share all that with you guys as well. And then Dawn is saying, Brandon Davis, if you were watching during this, you should have said something before I left, but it's okay. Way too many people are following and informing me on things. Good to have a circle of things. He could have been involved with this as well. Yes, the truth is out there. And Tabitha, one of my newest stories I shared with someone, has that in that, along with the police and others that knew about screenshots that he posted. There are so many more screenshots. I would definitely say, and I mean, I'm not fully aware of what is going on, but anything that you guys see on social media, screenshot it and send it to law enforcement. If people are posting, there's been several cases like people have gone missing, and then people are putting on there that they've heard what happened to that individual. There was a recent story. I'm not going to go into detail what was on social media. I know there's advocates on here that know. If you guys see that out there, screenshot it, and I would send it to law enforcement. If you are not comfortable in contacting law enforcement, you can always reach out, share the information. If you want to be anonymous, you can share it, and we will get it over to law enforcement for you. But my biggest thing, if you are not here to help locate a missing person, this is not the place for you. This is not, I will not tolerate attacking families. I will not tolerate people that are only here to cause drama or to judge the missing or anything like that. If you have information that needs to be brought out in a missing person's case, feel free to contact law enforcement. If you are not comfortable with contacting law enforcement, you can send a message and we will get it over to law enforcement. You know, making negative comments or, you know, blaming people back and forth, that is not helping us locate the missing. We need to get the facts. If you saw them, seen something on social media, get that information over to law enforcement immediately. So if you are a family and you know, we try to monitor our pages all the time. If you're a family or a loved one or someone that's just on here trying to help and you see negative comments going back and forth, please report it to the admins. You can screenshot it, send me a message, show me where it was, report the comment to the admins. Please report to the admins versus Facebook, because us admins need to know who it is so we can get them removed out of the group. I have no problem blocking people. In fact, I do it all the time. But I want you guys to know that Guardian is a safe place. I do support families, despite some people think it's ridiculous at how I support families. I've had recent people say that I shouldn't be supporting the families as much as I do, but I don't care. I will always support the families out there. Again, I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. I'm not law enforcement. And I'm not the court system. I'm here to locate the missing. That is what I'm here for, and that is what I'm going to do. And I will support the families. So if you guys see anything out on any of these platforms, please report them to the admins so the admins can get them taken care of. If you are getting attacked by anybody, please let us know so we can handle that as well. If you see people out on social media making comments or saying they know something or making comments, even if you think it may not be true, please send it over to law enforcement, because you never know what thing could link to finding that missing person. So with that being said, I appreciate all of you guys being here. Ran a little over today or whatever. There's been some great, I haven't been able to read all the comments, but I have tried. If I missed a question or anything, please feel free to send me a message. I will go through the comments and try to answer them as well. If there are cases out there that you want covered, please let me know. Again, sending love and prayers to all of you guys. I cannot say enough to the families that are out here. Thank you so much for trusting us and letting us help you through this process and helping you find your loved one. For all the advocates out there, you guys are amazing. I have met so many great people out here that, you know, work hard to help you guys and to be here. So thank you. Sharon, Denise, Allison, Saoirse, Oracle Mom, all the ones that we have mentioned out there. You know, thank you guys so much for everything you do. I want to thank law enforcement for their hard work and dedication as well. The good private investigators that are out there, thank you so much for helping families. If there's anything that we can do for you guys, please let me know. You guys will continue to always be in my prayers every night, every day. And God bless. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night.